Hi everyone, welcome to my channel.
U.S. Citizenship Test 2025. Personal information. In the U.S. citizenship interview, the USCIS officer asks about yourself. How are you eligible to become a U.S. citizen? How are you eligible to become a U.S. citizen? I have been a lawful permanent resident for 8 years. I have been a lawful permanent resident for 8 years. Are you filing for naturalization through your marriage? Are you filing for naturalization through your marriage? Yes. Are you filing for naturalization under the general provision? Are you filing for naturalization under the general provision? Yes. When did you become a permanent resident? When did you become a permanent resident? I became a permanent resident on May 2, 2017. I became a permanent resident on May 2, 2017. How long have you been a permanent resident? How long have you been a permanent resident? I have been a permanent resident for 8 years. I have been a permanent resident for 8 years. How did you get your green card? How did you get your green card? I got my green card through my sister. I got my green card through my sister. How many years have you had your green card? How many years have you had your green card? I've had my green card for 6 years. I've had my green card for 6 years. When did you get your green card? When did you get your green card? I got my green card on May 2, 2017. I got my green card on May 2, 2017. Who sponsored you? Who sponsored you? My sister sponsored me. My sister sponsored me. How long have you lived in the United States? How long have you lived in the United States? I've lived in the U.S. for 8 years. I've lived in the U.S. for 8 years. What is the date you became a resident of the U.S.? What is the date you became a resident of the U.S.? May 2, 2017. May 2, 2017. What is your date of residency? What is your date of residency? May 2, 2017. May 2, 2017. What is your last name? What is your last name? My last name is Kim. My last name is Kim. What is your first name? What is your first name? My first name is Ian. My first name is Ian. What is your middle name? What is your middle name? I don't have a middle name. I don't have a middle name. Have you used any other names since birth? Have you used any other names since birth? No. What is your name as it appears on your green card? What is your name as it appears on your green card? It is Kim Ian. It is Kim Ian. Do you go by any other names? Do you go by any other names? No, I don't. No, I don't. Have you ever changed your name? Have you ever changed your name? No. Do you want to change your name? Do you want to change your name? No. Would you prefer the Social Security Administration to issue a new card and update your immigration status after your naturalization? Would you prefer the Social Security Administration to issue a new card and update your immigration status after your naturalization? Yes. What is your Social Security number? What is your Social Security number? 892-46-0555. 892-46-0555. When were you born? When were you born? I was born on August 6, 1986. I was born on August 6, 1986. What is your country of birth? What is your country of birth? Korea. What is your date of birth? What is your date of birth? My date of birth is August 6, 1986. My date of birth is August 6, 1986. What is your country of citizenship or nationality? What is your country of citizenship or nationality? Korea. Where are you from? Where are you from? I'm from Korea. I'm from Korea. Are you a citizen of any other country? Are you a citizen of any other country? No. Are you citizen or national of more than one country? Are you citizen or national of more than one country? No. Is either of your parents a U.S. citizen? Is either of your parents a U.S. citizen? No. Was one of your parents a U.S. citizen before your 18th birthday? Was one of your parents a U.S. citizen before your 18th birthday? No. What is your phone number? What is your phone number? 323-260-589. Is your mailing address the same as your physical address? Is your mailing address the same as your physical address? Yes. When did you move to the current address? When did you move to the current address? I moved there on August 5th, 2022. I moved there on August 5th, 2022. Who do you live with at the current address? Who do you live with at the current address? I live with my parents. I live with my parents. How long have you lived at the current address? How long have you lived at the current address? Three years. 3 years. What is your current mailing address? What is your current mailing address? $1277 Flanagan Street, Elk Grove, California. Where did you live before? Where did you live before? What was your previous address? What was your previous address? When did you start living at that address? When did you start living at that address? I started living there on December 7th, 2022. I started living there on December 7th, 2022. When did you leave that address? When did you leave that address? I left that address on December 6th, 2022. I left that address on December 6th, 2022. Have you lived anywhere else in the last 5 years? Have you lived anywhere else in the last 5 years? No. What is your way? What is your way? I'm 157 pounds. I'm 157 pounds. How tall are you? How tall are you? I'm 5 feet 3 inches. I'm 5 feet 3 inches. What is your hair color? What is your hair color? My hair is black. My hair is black. Are you Hispanic or Latino? Are you Hispanic or Latino? No. I'm Asian. No. I'm Asian. What is your race? What is your race? I'm Asian. I'm Asian. Have you left the U.S. in the last 5 years? Have you left the U.S. in the last 5 years? Yes, I left the U.S. twice in the last 5 years. Yes, I left the U.S. twice in the last 5 years. Have you traveled outside the U.S. in the last 5 years? Have you traveled outside the U.S. in the last 5 years? Yes, I took 3 trips outside the U.S. in the last 5 years. Yes, I took 3 trips outside the U.S. in the last 5 years. Have you ever left the U.S. for more than 6 months? Have you ever left the U.S. for more than 6 months? No. How many trips have you taken outside the U.S. in the last 5 years? How many trips have you taken outside the U.S. in the last 5 years? Three trips. 3 trips. Where did you go? Where did you go? I went to Korea. I went to Korea. Why did you leave the U.S.? Why did you leave the U.S.? I went to visit my family. I went to visit my family. How long was that trip? How long was that trip? That trip was 31 days. That trip was 31 days. Have you taken any other trips outside the U.S. in the last 5 years? Have you taken any other trips outside the U.S. in the last 5 years? Yes. Have you ever left the U.S. for a year or more? Have you ever left the U.S. for a year or more? No. Are you currently employed? Are you currently employed? Yes, I work as a teacher. Yes, I work as a teacher. Where do you work? Where do you work? I teach English on the internet. I teach English on the internet. What work do you do? What work do you do? I work as a teacher. I work as a teacher. What is your occupation? What is your occupation? I work as a teacher. I work as a teacher. When did you start working there? When did you start working there? I started working there on March 15, 2021. I started working there on March 15, 2021. How long have you worked there? How long have you worked there? I've worked there for 3 years. I've worked there for 3 years. Where did you work before? Where did you work before? I worked at primary school. I worked at primary school. What is your current marital status? What is your current marital status? I'm married. I'm married. When did you get married? When did you get married? I got married on November 13, 2009. I got married on November 13, 2009. How many times have you been married? How many times have you been married? I have been married once. I have been married once. Is your spouse a current member of the U.S. Armed Forces? Is your spouse a current member of the U.S. Armed Forces? No. Where did you get married? Where did you get married? I got married in Korea. I got married in Korea. What is your spouse's legal name? What is your spouse's legal name? His legal name is Lee Ki-tae. His legal name is Lee Ki-tae. Does your spouse live at the same address as you? Does your spouse live at the same address as you? Yes. What is your spouse's date of birth? What is your spouse's date of birth? His date of birth is February 6, 1980. His date of birth is February 6, 1980. Is your spouse a U.S. citizen? Is your spouse a U.S. citizen? Yes. What is your current spouse's immigration status? What is your current spouse's immigration status? He is a lawful permanent resident. He is a lawful permanent resident. How many times has your spouse been married? How many times has your spouse been married? He has been married once. He has been married once. What is your spouse's country of origin? What is your spouse's country of origin? He is from Korea. He is from Korea. What is your spouse's occupation? What is your spouse's occupation? He is a teacher. He is a teacher. Do you have any children? Do you have any children? Yes, I have 2 children. Yes, I have 2 children. How many children do you have? How many children do you have? I have 2 children. I have 2 children. What are your children's names? What are your children's names? His name is Arya and her name is Maria. Do your children currently live with you? Do your children currently live with you? Yes. What are your children's dates of birth? What are your children's dates of birth? His date of birth is October 10th, 2015. Her date of birth is January 6th, 2018. Do you have any adopted children? Do you have any adopted children? No. Do you have any stepchildren? Do you have any stepchildren? No.